welcome back to another reading. If you guys are new, hi, my name is Astra. I'm a intuitive tarot reader and I do tarot readings here on my channel. Today I am going to be doing a tarot reading on Emmen and Ilsu. I've been getting a lot of requests to do an in-depth reading on them. I did do multiple Q&As on them and answer them in my members Q&A, but I've been getting a lot of requests to do an in-depth reading on them. So I'm doing that today, right? So first I'm going to be getting into their bond first before checking their current energy so I can take a look more about their bond. So how is Emmen and Ilsu's bond and dynamic? How is Emmen and Ilsu's bond and dynamic with each other? How is Emmen and Ilsu's bond and dynamic with each other? Okay, so when it comes to Emmen and Ilsu's bond with each other, I do feel like they were able to click with each other pretty quickly, okay? I do feel like they have gotten to the point where they understand each other well. And I do feel like when it comes to their bond as well, there's like this sense of protectiveness that is there, okay? I do feel like maybe Emmen is protective for Ilsu, okay? And I feel like there is a lot of tension and chemistry between them, but it's almost like in a good way, okay? I do feel like that there's also like this like sort of teasing that happens between the two of them as well, okay? And I do feel like there's like this natural pull between the two of them, okay? But it's not something that feels rushed, okay? I do feel like that this is the type of connection that slowly got built through like shared experiences and through working together, okay? And I do feel like there is one of them that sort of tends to express their feelings way more openly than the other, okay? I feel like the other person needs more time before fully trusting what they're feeling or what is going on, okay? So there's definitely one of them that has like this fiery energy, and there's one of them that thinks things way more through and is a bit more careful, okay? I do feel like that they have built something when it comes to their conversations. I do feel like that their conversations are one of the strongest parts when it comes to their bond, okay? I do feel like even disagreements like sort of push them towards understanding each other than sort of pulling them apart, okay? So I do feel like that conversations is like a big thing when it comes to the two of them, okay? And at the same time, like there's like strong admiration here, okay? I feel like they seem to motivate each other to become more confident versions of themselves, okay? But I do feel like there's like a big challenge here when it comes to timing. I do feel like one of them may sort of like want more reassurance while the other sort of prefers to process emotions more privately, okay? And sometimes one of them would prefer periods of silence or distance, and that isn't really a sign of their emotions like fading or whatever they're feeling is fading, okay? But sometimes they might prefer that than sort of being rushed into giving an answer or feeling something right away, okay? But definitely there is like a lot sense of here of physical chemistry, okay? But I do feel like there is like a lot of sense that emotional security is ultimately what determines how things move forward when it comes to the two of them, okay? And this connection doesn't feel like something that is gonna burn quickly. It has potential to mature over time if both of them remain patient, okay? But I do feel like that this bond as well has already built a lot of memories, but I do feel like there is something about this connection teaching both individuals important lessons about like vulnerability and trust and compromise, okay? I do feel like that long-term potential does look favorable for them as long as neither of them sort of expect the other to change in some certain way, okay? But yeah, you guys, I hope that made sense for their bond overall. Right now I'm gonna get into how they both specifically feel towards each other at the moment. So now let's see for Emmen towards Ilsu. How does Emmen feel towards Ilsu? How does Emmen feel towards Ilsu? What is his current energy towards Ilsu right now? These popped up over into my arm. comes to Emin, I feel like that definitely there is a big sense of comfort that he does feel with Ilsu, and there's like almost like this like fiery energy that he has over here that definitely can have like strong attraction and interest that he does feel towards Ilsu. Like he does feel like there is like excitement, there is like this like fiery energy that he does feel towards her, okay? His energy doesn't feel cold towards her at all, okay? And he definitely does see real potential in her and in what the connection could become between the two of them, okay? Like career-wise and personal-wise as well, okay? I do feel like that he definitely wants new beginnings and wants something meaningful between the two of them, okay? At the same time, I feel like there's like a sense of him feeling not really completely satisfied with how things are right now. It's almost like he feels like there is something missing, or like things are not really going the way that he would like right now, okay? I feel like there's like certain things that maybe he had hoped or wanted a certain way, and sort of right now there's like a fear that he has, like, okay, maybe things are not really gonna turn out the way that I want, okay? And so there's like a sense of him wanting clarity, like there's like certain things about Ilsu that he feels like are not really clear to him, maybe regarding how she feels or how she wants certain things to turn out, okay? And so he feels that he doesn't really want to stay confused, okay? He wants to understand where he stands and what this connection is for Ilsu and all of that, okay? But there's like a sense of him sort of taking the patient approach, like instead of rushing or forcing anything. I feel like he'd rather build something slowly if it means that it's gonna have like stronger foundations, okay? Now let me get more cards about Emmen towards Ilsu. What else does Emmen feel towards Ilsu? What else does Emmen feel towards Ilsu? Yeah, guys, there is definitely a lot of attraction that he does have for Ilsu, and there's a lot of emotional potential here as well when it comes to the two of them, okay? He definitely can picture like happiness and comfort and a future with Ilsu, okay? But that sort of put him way ahead of himself sometimes, okay? Like rather than sort of focusing on the current moments and moving things, sometimes he can picture how things can develop in the future, and that sort of can keep him sometimes disappointed or let down of certain things, okay? He does seem to admire her independence and who she is as a person, okay? Like there is a sense of respect that he does feel for her alongside the attraction that he feels, okay? But he's not really completely free emotionally. Like there is like signs, like I said, of him overthinking or feeling stuck or talking himself out of certain things. Like he's like, oh, maybe you thought this wrong, or oh, maybe you shouldn't have did that, or maybe you shouldn't have said that, okay? And so I feel like sometimes because of that he can hold himself back because he doesn't want to make the wrong move, or because he's not really unsure about how people might respond or how she might respond, okay? And so his feelings aren't really impulsive right now, okay? They are more mature and intentional, okay? So like I said, there are moments where he may focus on what has happened yet or what he's afraid of losing instead of like recognizing what's possible right now, okay? But right now he does seem to value fairness, and he wants the situation to unfold in a way that feels right than sort of like forcing the outcome, okay? So I hope that made sense when it comes to Emmen. Now let's take a look about Ilsu. Let's see, what does Ilsu feel towards Emmen? What does Ilsu feel towards Emmen at the moment? What does Ilsu feel towards Emmen at the moment? What does Ilsu feel towards Emmen at the moment? Okay, so you guys, when it comes to Ilsu, okay, her energy is like very intentional, okay? She doesn't feel casual, or she doesn't feel like someone who's not really interested when it comes to things, when it comes to Emin, okay? Ilsu does seem to be trying to balance different priorities, or sort of figure out the best way to approach the connection, because she doesn't really want to rush into anything, okay? There is like strong energy here that Ilsu wants honesty and clarity. Like, those things are very important for her, okay? I feel like she would rather know exactly where things stand than stay in confusion, okay? And so I feel like Ilsu here does have a lot of respect for Emin, okay? She does have admiration for who he is as a person, okay, and the way that he carries himself, okay? And there's definitely emotions that she does feel for him, okay? There are definitely genuine feelings that are developing that she does have for him, okay, or already present, okay? And I do feel like there is like a sense of Ilsu feeling that she does sort of have the need to sort of build strength, okay? There's like certain things that she does feel confused about, okay? She definitely does enjoy her connection with Emin, but like I said, I feel like he does sometimes have like this fiery energy, and that sort of can make her feel a bit unbalanced, okay? Like, she's the type that would like things to move slowly and patiently, and you know, I feel like she does take time to sort of reflect on her emotions and all of that, okay? And so sometimes there can be certain signs or things from Emin that she finds hard to understand, or that can be too much from her, like maybe some sort of teasing or stuff like that, okay? There are certain things that he does that she likes, and sometimes she's like, oh my god, I hate that I like that he does that, okay? So she definitely does feel things from him, but I feel like there's like a big side of her that does want to sort of be careful, or sometimes she doesn't know exactly what to do, okay? So let's see, anything else that Ilsu feels towards Emin? What else does Ilsu feel towards Emin? What else does Ilsu feel towards Emin? Okay, yeah, so when it comes to Ilsu, she definitely does have interest in building something meaningful when it comes to her connections, rather than something short-lived, okay? And so she does really, like I said, she values honesty, and she values patience and emotional investment, okay? And she does want something real. She doesn't want something that it isn't, okay? And so sometimes there's like a sense of her that would really think things through, okay? Because she doesn't really want to get hurt. Like, there's like something that I'm hearing in my head that's like, okay, if our circumstances change, if, you know, we are not around each other as much anymore and all of that, are things gonna be different than they are right now, okay? And she does think a lot about intentions and how things are really are and all of that, okay? It's not that she doesn't have trust in Emmen, but I feel like that she definitely does want to be careful about, you know, taking steps and all of that. You know, she definitely does care, but I feel like that she thinks things through, and she doesn't want to give her emotions and then get hurt, okay? And so she definitely is taking like a measured approach, okay? And she's sort of like waiting for the right timing and trusting the process, okay? And she's allowing the connection to develop naturally between the two of them, rather than forcing it, okay? And so she definitely sees value in the connection and she believes that it has room to go, but she does want it to grow in the right ways, okay? Almost, all right? So I hope that made sense for Emmen and Ilsu. Now I'm gonna get some cards. Let's see, how are both Emmen and Ilsu feeling right now when it comes to each other? Indecisive. I know my inability to make a decision hurts you, and missed opportunity. I didn't act when I should have. Yeah, guys. So there's like a bit sense of indecisiveness right now when it comes to the two of them, okay? They both do feel like that sometimes they can be a bit indecisive, and that can sort of hurt the other person, okay? I do feel like that Emmen sort of knows what he wants, but at the same time, because he fears that things are not gonna go well and all of that, so that can sort of make him undecisive. And to Ilsu, maybe that can seem like he doesn't really know where he wants things to sort of be headed, or there can be sort of mixed signals that are given. And for Ilsu, you know, she doesn't want things to go ahead unless like she's fully sure and all of that, okay? So there's like a bit of indecisiveness that they both are feeling, but at the same time, they sort of are fearing that there can be a missed opportunity. Like, what if I don't act now and then this will be something that I regret later? Or what if I do this and then I regret it later? Okay, so there's like a lot of sense of a missed opportunity, and they don't sort of want to regret like not acting when they should have, okay? So I do feel like right now they're at this like place where they sort of are moving forward and they're acting what they should do right now, okay? Because there's like a sense of not wanting to regret and feeling that it would be a missed opportunity later. Now for Emmen, what is Emmen's message towards Ilsu? What is Emmen's message for Ilsu? Secrets. I haven't told you everything, and understanding. I see your side of story. Okay, so Emmen does feel like there's like certain things that he hasn't told Ilsu yet. Like I said, you guys, there's certain things that need to be more open between the two of them, or there's like things that he does feel like if he is more forward about them, that maybe they won't be the best. Or he does feel like also Ilsu does keep certain things and he doesn't really understand her, and he does feel like that because he does fear, you know, maybe Ilsu's reaction and all of that, there's like certain things that he hasn't told her yet. So he does feel like there's like certain secrets or certain things that I have been feeling that I have been keeping from you. But there's like also a sense of understanding that he does feel like towards Ilsu. He feels like that he has gotten to know her well at this point, and he knows what she's gonna react to certain stuff and all of that. And so there's a sense of him understanding and seeing her side of story, and he does understand, you know, her point of view and why, if she would want to take things slow, why she would want that, okay? Now for Ilsu, what is Ilsu's message towards Emmen? Runner. I don't want to run anymore and irreplaceable. Okay, yeah, so for Ilsu, there's like a part of her that sort of doesn't want to run anymore, okay? There's like certain things that maybe she feels like that she has run from, or maybe certain emotions that she felt like in the past, she felt like maybe it's better to sort of, you know, put them behind or sort of ignore them, okay? Like out of, you know, not really wanting to show vulnerability or all of that, okay? And so there's like a sense of her not really wanting to run anymore. She wants to face things for what they are, and she wants there to be more open conversations, okay? And there's like a sense that she does feel like that the bond that they share is sort of irreplaceable and cannot really be matched. Like she feels like the way that they are, the way they work together, the way they act together, and you know, she feels like that, you know, the way that she feels with Emmen is probably not something that she felt before. She feels like it's something that cannot really be matched, okay? Like on screen and off screen, okay? So she does feel like that, you know, she does really feel great, you know, with the way that they are. There's like a lot of chemistry, there's like a lot of tension, but in a good way, okay? I feel like in the past maybe there's like tension that she felt, or maybe Emmen would tease her in certain ways that sometimes she would be like, oh, I don't like that I'm feeling this, or you know, that she would be vulnerable to something. And then right now she feels like there's like a sense that, okay, I don't really want to run away from this anymore, and I'm more accepting towards it, okay? And I do recognize that we are great together, and you know, all of that. Okay, so I hope that this reading made sense for all of you guys. I've been getting a lot of requests to this reading, so I hope this reading gave you guys clarity and that it made sense. If you guys liked it, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hope to see you guys next time. Bye.